Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I wanted to progress some viewers' requests around gun control, particularly in the US. Are we ever going to see an ending to the horrible violence that we see around with guns, particularly the automatic machine gun type, the AR-15s, are they? Are we going to see some gun reform get through the Congress in America? Because it is tragic what we see on any given day in America with gun violence. I also want to take a look at what happened to the use. I got a good question the other day. What happened to the transcript or the live recording, I guess, of Trump's call with the Ukraine and any other sensitive materials that were put on the White House server? What's the Biden administration done with them? In fact, what are they uncovering in the massive paper trail that was left post-Trump administration? But first, let's have a look at the energies that are relevant to us at the moment. I'm using my own Revealing Light Oracle, and then I'll move into the Llewellyn Tarot and anything else that we might need here. So let's have a look at the energies that we are sitting in at the moment. Show me the energies that are relevant for us to think about, contemplate. What's the guidance here for us, the messages from Spirit. Okay, so I have adapting and finding your way. That's very relevant. Virgo is the sign of the worker bee. The person that gets that has the plan, puts it together, pieces of the jigsaw. They can see where things need to go. And they rule the sixth house of work and also health. But we see an adapting here, finding our way. So don't be too concerned about wanting to finish everything yesterday or the day before that. We do have a period of adaptation that we're in to find our bearings almost in a new landscape. There is a fertility in this landscape. We have the greenery here. The frog, of course, can be seen in some cultures as bringing forward luck. If we look at the money frogs, they can bring forward in terms of feng shui. They can bring forward this luck as well. So again, the red chakra, the base chakra, is associated with our security and trust in the world. So if you have been questioning things lately, go easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Sometimes we just need someone else to tell us that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself a break, because you're finding your way. You're adapting. You're doing well. Okay, so we have here intuition. Let go and trust yourself. This is the third eye energy. It's also associated with Uranus. Of course, Uranus can often bring forward dynamic change. It's the change we don't expect that comes up quickly over our shoulder and takes us for a bit of a spin. Use your intuition to ground yourself, your inner knowing. We all have it. Some people call it gut feelings. That is simply your third eye, inner knowing, intuition, psychic sense kicking in. So if you're feeling somewhat lost, you are adapting. When you're feeling worried, use your intuition and ask yourself, what is here for my highest good that I need to see? And have faith and hope that your highest good is working through your lives. Manifestation. We're definitely manifesting with adapting here, an intuition, connection to spirit through these upper chakras. We are definitely in manifestation energy. And this is around confidence and self-esteem and self-expression. There's a Mars energy here at the moment. And I think in the chart that I looked at, Mars was in Cancer, having to work out other ways other than aggressive ways to get our point of view across. But manifestation energy, driving forward something that you do really well. You create your own abundance when you live through divine connection. There's definitely divine connection in these cards. The base of the pack, we have perspective. Put your focus, and here's the kick line here. Put your focus on your inner self, on your inner world, and that way you won't be living in someone else's, because that's what we can often do, and we get confused when we're in that state, when we're continually, in someone else's perspective, and we forget that we've got every right to have our own perspective, to be grounded, to keep faith with our own inner perspective, our own inner knowing. Okay, lovely messages coming through from Spirit there, and a timely reminder. Sometimes we just need that. We just need someone else to tap us on the shoulder and say, hey. Well, maybe that's what I'm saying. Hey. All right, so let's move to gun control. Gun control. Is there now, of course, the Biden administration in America has legislation proposed, and of course it's meeting with the abnormal, well, I guess normal in America, the abnormal responses of, we don't want our freedom infringed, therefore we can walk into a coffee shop. I've talked about this before, with a machine gun slung over our shoulder when we have a permit to wear, to have a gun displayed in public, into that coffee shop, and scare everybody else in that coffee shop. So freedom without the responsibility is what they're asking for, without having to worry how their freedom is impinging on anyone else. There's not carte blanche, is there? So, plenty of evidence that this is the wrong way to go, that there needs to be some restraint on who can have these weapons. We have the Moon card here. Something else needs to come to the surface. There's a lot of emotion around this, a lot of emotion. Republicans in one corner, I should say the GQP in one corner, and Democrats who want sensible gun reform based on the evidence that is before them. Okay. So are we going to get, I think, strengthening up background checks, modification of the law around who can and cannot have these machine guns? Is there going to be sensible legislation that will, or sensible reform that will come forward that will be successful in the US? Are we going to see gun reform in the US? Not for a while. I'm just getting not for a while. But we've got the Three of Cups here, so we need you need support. Could be somebody defect across the line, Murkowski, whoever else maybe, or perhaps not her, but somebody may come forward and support this legislation, because I get circles of support here. I get three coming together to get something done. Challenged by those, it's like these old cycles again. We've got plenty of evidence. People have died. People have been murdered. But they're challenged by this old energy that just won't let go. That just won't let go. So this is where I think the delays come from. The Two of Pentacles, juggling. It's not easy. It just isn't easy, and there's manipulation here as well. But choices have to be made. Twos come forward. Two of Pentacles, when choices need to be made. That's the foundation of the reading. Walking a tightrope in regard to this. There's been lies in the past and deceit. There's also the fear that of, the fort being unguarded. You take away my machine gun and I won't be able to defend myself against the hordes of criminals that are coming over the border. And this is really what's being peddled. Lies. Lies. Absolute lies. It's not eradication of all guns. It's reform of the current laws so people are safer. But there are people are lying around this continually. I'm getting three. Another Three of Pentacles. Three. Somebody is going to help to get this reform through. I don't know who. But somebody is. That is also the card for dark money as well, the gun lobby. But of course the NRA is bankrupt, wanting to declare themselves bankrupt. The NRA, to remind viewers, funneled money from Russia through to the 2016 Republican campaign. Let's not forget that either. Something is coming to an inevitable end. I'm feeling much better now about this. There will be reform at some stage. This is not too far away. This is like the immediate future. That's not tomorrow or that's not next week. But it's inevitable that gun reform will be passed. Right now we have strong leadership and a strong hand, strength coming forward. This is also the courts as well. But this is lawmakers, I think, in this sense. You might get a defection come through. The Eight of Pentacles, this is current, this reading. Something is going to move on this gun reform question. I hope to goodness you're not going to have another mass shooting. But there's a lot of evidence here, a lot of evidence to be put before lawmakers, and they will be put on the spot. Six of Swords, there has to be healing. The Six of Swords comes forward in the hopes and fears. The hope is that this will be healed in some way, that these dark, turbulent waters where, mass murdering takes place because someone has got a machine gun slung over their shoulder, who shouldn't have a gun, who wouldn't have passed a background check, whatever the circumstances are, there has to be healing from this. And that is the hope. And I'm getting my yes card. Yes, it is an inevitability that there will be gun reform. How they're going to accomplish that, I don't know. With the slimmest of majorities. But they are going to accomplish it. Now we have the Lovers card here coming together. My feeling is somebody's crossing the aisle to vote on this legislation in some way, despite all the lies and deception and the peddling of the lies. I just put it that way. We see so much of that coming out of the GOP in America now, and other governments as well. Now the Page of Pentacles. That's new starts. And we have the Chariot, quickness and moderation. So this is the Biden administration coming in and wanting to put this reform through. They are really, I just feeling the gravity around this for them. They really want this to go through. And they're going to make it go, not make it, but they're going to work hard to get it through. But it is difficult. It is difficult, but it's also inevitable as well. that there will be some gun reform. Alrighty, what else was I going to read on? I do want to have a look at the vaccines. So, as you know, the Biden administration will support the WTO, World Trade Organization, and other moves to lift the patents off certain vaccines. So other COVID vaccines, so other countries can manufacture or start to manufacture those vaccines in their own countries. Now, the developers, the industry, pharmaceuticals are hitting back and saying, no, we want to make our money from this. The other side of the coin, of course, is that unless the world reaches herd community, then there could be some deadly mutations of the COVID virus. So, we're all in this together. So let's take a look. Will those patents be lifted? And will the vaccines be able to be manufactured? Okay, we've got the Three of Wands. I get this a lot when this is an affirmative. An answer is yes. A lot of work has been done. This is foreign, looking out to foreign shores. Ships, trade, airlines, people coming and going from countries, unless the world... economically, unless enough of the world achieves herd immunity, the economies can't go back to the way that they were, if indeed they do go back to that way. A lot of change has come through our experience in this pandemic, but that's for a later reading. The smart people know that herd immunity across the world must be reached before economies can fully recover. And this is in relation to the tourism industry, it's in relation to trade, it's in relation to the movements from one country to the next. Okay, so will the patents... So I think that's a yes. Will the patents be lifted, and will the countries be able to manufacture, those that have the capacity? Yeah, a lot of people are going to die beforehand, though. I'm just seeing that. So the Four of Pentacles is the signifier card. By golly, those pharmaceuticals want to hold on. They want to hold on to the money that they're making. Sure, if there's a mutation, we'll just do a booster shot. We'll make some more money off that. This is holding on tightly for fear that they might lose something. What might they lose is money. They're challenged by the Queen of Cups. We all know what the right thing is to do. You cannot sit by and watch people die, and a lot of them die because we want to make money. Okay. It's a stark truth. Foundation of the reading is the Star card. I'm getting good vibes off this one. I think those patents will be removed because that shows a healing coming forward. Here we are. This is in the past here, the Three of Wands. This can also be commerce and trade. The Two of Cups in the sky coming together, partnerships, partnering up, and it's a loving partnership as well. So Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. Yes, in the immediate future, yes, those patents will be lifted. Two of Pentacles again, along with the Four. There are pharmaceuticals that want to stand their ground, and it's not going to be easy, but we are forced to make decisions about who lives and who dies. And that's really what it boils down to. The Hierophant is surrounding this government, higher choices, the right choices, divine guidance as well. In the hopes and fears, the coming together, the Three of Cups, the threes coming together instead of being divided, coming together around the table to get something done. The Queen of Swords is a yes, based on logic alone, that we can't go back to the full scope of trade even without making sure that we get herd immunity globally. So That can also be legal action as well. And the Wheel of Fortune, that's something shifting as a result of a very logical, stable kind of approach. And the Knight of Pentacles. This is money, a money stream, very reliable money stream as well. And the Nine of Wands, of course, is wounded in battle. It can be putting barriers up. So I think what I'm seeing here is that the pharmaceutical industry will take some kind of legal type of action to prevent this. It's not an easy thing to accomplish, but I think it will be accomplished. We've got a stalling, suspended kind of energy here. There is great movement with this Knight of Wands. Great movement to get this done. And guess who's there? The King of Cups. Biden has come out and said those patents need to be lifted. I'm throwing my power or my influence, my government's influence into this, and we want those patents lifted so countries can start manufacturing the vaccines that we know work. Okay. All right, I just want to go to Australia for a minute before I close off this reading. Our own government here has been engaged in like a Cold War with China. We've lost billions and billions of trade because they are our biggest trading partner, including in agricultural produce, in our seafood industry, our wine industry. China's still buying a lot of our iron ore and at good prices, but they've recently, in the last few days, torn up an agreement that would bring both parties to the table to solve problems. China's just ripped it up, and they have closed the wall down, and they've said we do not want to talk to Australians. We do not want Australian government. We won't. And so there are no discussions at all between the Australian government and China why this position was taken by the current Australian government. Of course, was done multiple readings, questions on this before. Our Australian government was in lockstep with the previous Trump government, and of course our Prime Minister came out and bashed China over the head. There's something here that needs to be revealed here with the Moon card. All right, let's see. Will Australia's relationship with China improve at all? We have an election coming up at the beginning of next year, or sometime next year. It needs to be held before August of next year. My feeling is it will be held in the first quarter of 2022. Will Australia's, and the reason I'm saying that is because the intuitive feeling I'm getting is that China-Australian relationships will not return to the way they were unless they're dealing with another government. All right, so will the Australia and China relationship improve? So we've got the Knight of Pentacles, so that's a good omen. That's talking about a steady, reliable type of monetary stream. But there is the Page of Cups here. Something's going to emerge here around the loyalty of something. There could even be, they're challenged by Australia really, China losing face, which is very important to the Chinese. If they're disrespected or they feel that they lose face in any way, they expect respect and an apology. But we've got, that's in the challenge position. So until Australia says, I'm sorry, that's the way it's going to be, I don't think China's going to come to the table. We've got the Strength card here. That's the lion who roared. Of course, the dragon who roared, the Chinese dragon who roared. And we've got the Five of Cups, plenty of spilt milk here, plenty of loss. Go and talk to a lobster grower or a wine grower or some other produce, pork, lots of agricultural produce. Talk to them and ask them how they're going, how they're doing, and they'll tell you not so good. In the sky, we've got endings and beginnings and the world here. The world. In the immediate future, we've got justice, balancing of scales. The justice card, that's a karmic card. What's going on here? Seven of Swords, we've got somebody not telling the truth, or many parties not telling the truth. But this is the thief that makes off with something and leaves the camp unguarded. The Page of Wands in the environment around. I think people are wanting Australia and China to talk again, and that's a good thing. Enough Australians want something. And we get in the hopes and fears, the Four of Wands, reunification. Now, China also does its fair share of lying. Has done. And there's no question Australia needs to put the barriers up with China. But there are ways of doing this, and soft diplomacy works very well with the Chinese. Not in the near future. The Five of Wands, not in the near future. This is division, fighting, obstacles, challenges. The Ten of Cups. So this is normally my card for the voter. Families, suburban families. And the Five of Pentacles, money loss. No, it's not going to improve anytime soon. We've got the Death card. That can be endings. So there's, as I said, there's an ending. China has said it will not talk to Australia. It's Death card. This is also COVID as well into the mix. And there's also Australians here that feel that a hard stance on China is exactly what the government should be doing. But they're not the agricultural producer, are they? And plenty of gifted Australian politicians in the past have maintained good relationships with China while still standing up to China. We have an abuse of power, and we have the Empress card, abundance. So abundance has been hit, I guess, through all of this. So Australia-China relationships aren't in a good place at the moment, and they're not going to talk with anyone else but a new government. They will not engage with this government at all. So in my previous readings, I have felt that the government will change in Australia from an astrological look at it and a tarot look. I feel there's a change of government next year. Will China talk with a new government? Will China talk with a new Australian government? Will China talk with the new Australian government? Whoever that is, will China talk with the new Australian government? I feel also this current government's going to do some kind of, I don't know if it's an apology, but some kind of move there. Capitulation in some way. Yes, they will. The King of Wands is leadership. We've got barriers at the moment, so the question is very much around the leadership. The foundation is the King of Pentacles, who holds all those cards. Now, Australia is producing lots of iron ore with China and selling that to China at the moment. Manifestation energy, the Magician is coming here. There seems to be a manifestation going on here of some sort. In the sky, we have another card, the Death card. The feeling that China, hurt our economy through COVID. I mean, that ran strongly through Trump's narrative, also came to Australian shores as well. We've got an abuse of power. China abuses its power. Is there going to be a change of government? The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So there is truth emerging here at the moment. And, inspiration. Here's our voter, the Ten of Cups. If families hurt, then they're more likely to change their vote. I have the Ten of Swords here as the outcome card, the ending of something or someone. Yep, we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads. Will they talk to somebody else? There will be something revealed here. That Cancer, Queen of Cups energy, and a new start. There looks like there's an ending. A lot of loss around this, both ways. It looks like that there is an ending coming up here for the current government, and something new that starts again. I'm just going to draw a clarifier on that Ten of Swords. Will China talk? The relationship's over right now, and unless there's a new government, they won't. They may engage in dialogue if the government were to change. Will they show me this Ten of Swords? They're fairly steely around teaching Australia a lesson, showing them their muscle here. Nine of Pentacles, money. 10 of Pentacles, money, family money, and loss of family money. So that from they're saying we will do whatever we need to do to get our message across, and it looks like this hits families. I don't see the relationship improving anytime soon. Even with a new government in, I don't see, it improving anytime soon. There's a long way to go. A long way to go to not to restore, because there needs to be a certain strength in the relationship Australia has with China. There's a long way to go before we get there, and they start trading with us again in ways that they've simply cut off. All right. You can thank Trump for that too. Well, no, you can actually thank the current government's in Australia's stupidity in being so undiplomatic in the way that they approach China. All right, that's the reading for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back again with another reading again soon. Thank you.